Thank you so much for being here in this lovely day that we've had. And since it's customary in Baha'i gatherings to start the meeting with a prayer, I'm going to ask Roxanne to come and sing a prayer or chant a prayer for us, and then we'll start the meeting.
This is a prayer in French, and it's a prayer for guidance. Ô Dieu, guide-moi, protège-moi, illumine la lampe de mon cœur et fais de moi une étoile brillante. Tu es le fort et le puissant.
My name is Faye Andrighetti, and I'm here to introduce our speaker for tonight. This evening, the subject of the talk is harmony between science and religion, a Baha'i perspective. And we will have time at the end for questions and answers. It's my pleasure to introduce tonight's speaker, who is also a close friend of mine. Anahita Izadpanah was born in Iran and moved to Germany at a young age. She finished her education in Germany and graduated with a degree of civil engineering from Frankfurt, Darmstadt, I hope I'm saying it right.
Darmstadt
Technical University. She worked as a civil engineer and taught math and physics and computers for several years at Communal Public Law Institution and Community College in Göttingen, Hanover. In 2008, she, along with her family, moved to London, and she has worked in Nancy Campbell Collegiate Institute, London International Academy, Ivy Business School, and Western University. Since 2018, she's been working as a professor at Fanshawe College, and she's been in the Faculty of Science, Trade, and Technology, and as a professor of Architectural Technology. Anahita is a member of Ontario College Mathematics Association. With that, I would like to welcome Anahita.
Good evening, friends here in this room and in the Zoom. So welcome to my presentation tonight. As you can see on the screen here, the topic is the harmony of science and religion, a Baha'i perspective. This is really a very, very deep topic that if I want to talk about that, so we have to sit here many hours. But no worries, I will not take your time. I know it's 7:30 tonight and it's Friday and you work and you might be tired, and I tried my best to make it as short as I could and simple as I could. So my presentation will take around 40 minutes, and after that we can have 10-15 minutes open discussions. Everybody is welcome to join to the discussion part. Of course, if you have questions before and after, then you can ask me in the Zoom or in the room. Yes?
You think we should mute our phone?
Yes, please. That will be great. Yes. So please mute your phones that you don't have distractions here. And after I'm done and we are done with the discussions, we have small snacks or refreshments. Thank Hossein that he took care of that, so we can have social part together. I think we have to leave the room at 9:30 here at the school because we are in the school. But in the Zoom, so you guys, you can continue. Okay, I wish I could see you too. Okay, so we will start. So often we see religion and science as two opposite polars. One is rational and practical and objective, and the other one is emotional and is mysterious and is subjective. Different places, different cultures value science and religion differently. Sometimes we are thinking, oh, I have to pick up one of them. As we move to modern technology and scientifically advanced society, we wonder, does spirituality have a place in our life? Does spirituality have a place in the modern society? And we are asking us this question, that how are science and religion related to each other? I hope you can see the slides well. I cannot turn off the light here because the friends in Zoom, they cannot see it well. So therefore, I hope everybody is with me. So in order to answer that, we have first to clarify 4 questions about what is science for us. Do I need science? Third one, what is religion? And the 4th one, do we need religion? So we go through each question now. So what do you think? What is the definition of science? Who can answer?
It's a process of investigation.
That's one answer, yes? More?
It refers to what we know, not what we believe in.
Exactly.
Something you can duplicate with the same result.
That's true too, yes. So it says knowledge about the structure and behavior of the nature and physical world based on facts that can be proved. That is the Oxford Dictionary.
It's the best.
But please no cheating with your cell phone that you are searching.
Taking notes.
Oh, sorry. I thought she's searching that, the question.
I'm writing notes. Taking
Sorry.
all the notes of everything you're saying.
That's great, awesome. So, do we need science? Yes, everybody says yes, because otherwise you could not sit here and I was not able to present my presentation here, right? So we need science, of course. Science is the development, material achievement, advance in every layer in material life. Now, the definition of religion. What is religion for us? What does religion mean? What's that?
A connection to a higher purpose or a creator.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yes. Any other idea?
Belief in something is more than we can actually witness and see.
Exactly, so believing in something, and the definition is here, a belief, what you said, in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. That's again Oxford Dictionary. Now, the most important question is, the controversial question is, do we need religion? So, it's not a right or wrong answer that we can say yes or no. So it's up to our background, our culture, our belief that we say yes or no. But my opinion was that the most important question in our life is not how do we succeed in this, how do we succeed to be a human being, and how do I succeed my task to be a human. That's the important part for us. Any questions at this point? No? Good. There is a very famous sentence from Einstein that he says, science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Louis Pasteur, he is the French chemist, and he was, I think, active in the bacteria or finding bacteria still. He developed vaccine and he found the pasteurization too. The milk that we are drinking and we say, oh, that's pasteurized, so that's after his name. He says a very, very nice sentence, actually 2 sentences. He says, little science takes you away from God, but more of it takes you to Him. So, as I was more involved in the quantum physics, I could understand his second part much, much better. So the quantum physics is a language of tiny particles, and then the quantum physics reveals how things are connected to each other in a high dimension which our sense cannot comprehend. If I show you these 2 pictures, it says mathematics, and this picture. So if I ask you, what is the relation between these 2 pictures? What do you think? Are they related to each other?
With each of them, you have to use your brain.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So maybe if you look at that, you say, oh no, that's math, that's science, and that somebody is praying, nice hand is
He looks like
turning.
trying to connect things over time.
So, one of the fundamental principles of the Baha'i Faith, it says that the harmony of science and religion. That's like a bird that you need 2 wings to fly. With 1 wing, of course, we cannot fly. We can fly, but not really very high. And if, then it's only one direction that we can go. Baha'u'llah, meaning glory of God, was the prophet of the Baha'i Faith. He says, I would like that somebody is reading that. Bob, would you like to read that, please?
Knowledge is as wings to man's life, and a ladder for his ascent. Its acquisition is incumbent upon everyone. The knowledge of such sciences, however, should be acquired as can profit the people of the world, and not those which begin with words and end with words. Great indeed is the claim of scientists and craftsmen on the people of the world. In truth, knowledge is a veritable treasure for man, and a source of glory, of bounty, of joy, of exaltation, of cheer and gladness unto him. From the Kitab-i-Aqdas.
So I leave it a few seconds that you digested what is there first, and then I go through that. It says its acquisition is incumbent upon everyone. So everyone has to have the knowledge, have to study. A practical part in the Baha'i Faith is that, for instance, if you have 2 children, you have 1 boy and 1 girl, you have to pay, if you have the money to only to pay for one of your children, then you have to choose your girl, because the girl will be the educator of the new generation, for the next generation. And it's very powerful. It says too that knowledge is a source of glory, bounty, joy, and exaltation, cheer, and gladness. That's amazing what Baha'u'llah is saying to us. So my understanding from those sentences is that this illustrates belief and hope in our advanced civilization. And science should be seen as a vector, is as a tool for us that reflect the human virtues and promote the unity among the people. And it says it's not only the empty words, it's the deeds. That reminds me on the English expression that we say talk to talk and walk to walk. So walk to walk is that we have to focus on that part now, not only the empty words. So generally we can say, if we talk only about the science, generalize that, science has allowed humanity to construct a logical or coherent understanding of laws and process of nature. Science can be viewed as a system or body of knowledge and methods through which the human mind can better understand its environment and its reality. Now, the question comes that we are asking us, okay, I have science, so what's the next step? What I can do with my science? So I am knowledgeable, I know many things, that's good for me. So then, how can this science help me that I understand my society around me? So the true science should have those characters. So should be objective, should be unbiased, should be measurable, and should be reproducible. And those are the attributes of justice, actually, that we needed. So now, if we move to the other side, to the religion, how is religion helpful? So science allows us that we understand our nature, what's going on around me in the physical part. But science does not give me the direction. It doesn't. It doesn't give me values. And religion is, if applied correctly, gives me a moral compass. A moral compass like here. I'm not sure that the friends can see it on the back side or not. It says good, evil, right, bad. I do have a moral compass in my hands that I can distinguish that's bad, that's good, that's love, that's forgiveness, and so on. I cannot have this one with the science, but with the religion. So, in the other religion, in Quran is encouraging the people to go through the science too. It says, God will exalt those of you who believe and those who have knowledge to high degree. That's in the Surah 58:11. And also, it says, O my Lord, increase in me knowledge. That's very straightforward sentence, which is in Quran 20:11-14. Also, in Bible, in Genesis, it says, Bessie, would you please read that?
King James Version 28, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
It's not powerful. It says, and have dominion over the fish of the sea. Dominion, so have a power. How I can have power? I can have power if I have knowledge. How I can have knowledge if I know the science. It says here, straightforward too. And also, in Buddhism, the 14th Dalai Lama, he says he is the spiritual leader of the Buddhism. He says if science proves some belief of Buddhism wrong, then Buddhism has to change. That's amazing too. It's not only in the Bahá'í Faith, it's in Quran, it's in Bible, it's in Buddhism. It's in all the religion that we can see that, we can find it. So any questions to this one? No? Everybody happy? Happy Friday, right? Okay. So Baha'u'llah says, Shevin, would you like please read that?
Religion without science is superstition. Science without religion is materialism. Baha'u'llah.
So in the Baha'i religion, it says, science without religion is materialism. How often we saw that our account was hacked, for example. That was science. Hacking is a science, but it's in a bad way. Or another example is the misuse of religion, of science. We can see, unfortunately, that United States explode 2 atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and it was killed between 129,000 to 226,000 people. As I searched the picture, that was devastating pictures that I could see, but no worries, I find the mildest one that I could put tonight, but still it's sad to see that. Now to the first sentence, that the misuse of religion, how often we see the misuse of religion around us. And the first one that many years ago was the crusade. The first crusade, third crusade, that we experienced that started in I pushed very fast to my slides. In between 1095 and 1291, and it continues. And that was those pictures. That was in the medieval time that we experienced that, unfortunately. Abdul Baha is the eldest son of Baha'u'llah, who is the leader he was the leader of passing of his father in 1892. So Abdul Baha says about the intention and mind, the light of the intelligence enables us to understand and realize all that exists, but it is only the divine light that can give us sight for the invisible things. Only the divine light, and which enable us to see truths that will only be visible to the world thousands of years hence. So that's powerful sentence too. Only the divine light. I put it red. I love that point. That was the key for me. And he's saying about the knowledge. Who would like to read that? Ms. Mariam?
Go back to the last slide.
Oh, last one?
Just wanted to.
Oh, sure. Sure. Can I get that? Because I know sometimes I go so fast and I have to stop. You're good? Okay. So knowledge. Who would like to read? Faith?
Every kind of knowledge, every science is as a tree. If the fruit of it be of the love of God, then it is like tree. But if not, the tree is but dried up wood and shall only feed the fire.
So that says Abdul Baha. So you can have knowledge, but if it's not with the love of God, then is as a dried wood. And in the other place, Baha'u'llah says, who would like to read this one? Maybe Roxanne?
Baha'u'llah says that religion must be conducive to love and unity. If it proves to be the source of hatred and enmity, its absence is preferable. For the will and law of God is love, and love is the bond between human hearts. Religion is the light of the world. If it is made the cause of darkness through human misunderstanding and ignorance, it would be better to do without it.
So with love and unity. So the bond between us is only love and unity. Otherwise, you are all lost, actually. Now we talk about religion, we talk about science. If I think about these two, now, my question is, how they are bridged together? Which connection do I have? What is the midpoint between them? What do you think? What is the bridge between the science and religion?
Well, science is the knowledge and religion is the wisdom.
So what can I write here on the top? Wisdom? You mean? Did you say something?
Maybe love?
Love, okay. It's not anything that you say is everything is correct, so please feel free to say that.
You're not going to dock us any marks, then is that the idea?
Exactly, there's no marking today. It was midterm today, by the way, but...
So, one point of view is that actually science and religion are two aspects of the same reality, of the same creation. So in fact, they are in essence one. They are different manifestations of oneness of the whole of creation. And one definition, of course, that Baha'i gives, that I know you know, is that religion, science, nature, love, they are the necessary relationships that derive from the realities of things. So these are all aspects of the same oneness. So in a sense, you know, when you say the bridge between them,
yes,
it's like they're actually
together.
one. That one circle that you've drawn there is very, very apt.
Hussein was first.
I was going to say, you know, as we went through it, you said science is, you know, the fact and the knowledge of things. So the bridge to me between science and religion is that, so I have certain knowledge, certain facts, but how do I use it? Do I use it to destroy something, or do I use it to build something for a better future? So
you mean in a positive way?
Yeah, so to me that's the reason.
You know, I like what Hossein said. So the word that comes to my mind is something that I know we've talked about before. For me, science and religion, if you were to link them, at the center would be the intention.
Intention,
That's
okay.
Right. And the way it, as Hossein said, the way it's being used.
Okay. So, Shadishun, could you please read
I
that?
think it was.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Before you can you put the slide back again? Before you can build a bridge, the two have to come together to say we're going to seek an agreement. The problem is science has so many facets, religion has so many facets, so that before we can build a bridge, we have to agree on which aspect of the two we're going to study together jointly. The problem with, for example, science is a form of belief. For me, you've talked of quantum physics, and I believe it's true, but I don't know. I only believe it. Religion focuses on certain aspects of how we should live our lives. Some religions I agree with, others say, you're totally wrong. That's not real, that's not fair. And so we have to agree on what aspect of religion we're going to, and what aspect of science we're going to try to bring together.
That's correct, because you need a strong foundation for both of them, then you can...
Like the bridge.
to have a bridge, that your bridge is not destroying. So, that's the human consciousness. Shadijan, could you please read that?
The bridge between science and religion often seems to be apart, but they are united, and their meeting point is human consciousness.
So human consciousness. Now, he asked us, okay, that was my picture here. I can say human consciousness on the top. If we simplify that in one word, then human consciousness is then the answer. Now, you're asking us, what is the human consciousness? What is that? What do you think? What is the human consciousness?
We can see forward and backward, which most teachers cannot do.
Okay. Any other idea? What is consciousness? We are conscious of something.
We're aware of it.
Aware of that, exactly. So who would love to read that? Terry, would you like to read that?
Consciousness describes our awareness of internal and external stimuli. Awareness of internal stimuli includes feeling pain, hunger, thirst, sleepiness, and being aware of our thoughts and emotions. Awareness of external stimuli includes seeing the light from the sun, feeling the warmth of the room, and hearing the voice of a friend.
So, in the other word, we have thoughts, we have feeling, we have perceptions, we have self-awareness. That's consciousness for us. So, in differentiation of life, in the world of existence, there are 4 kingdoms. So one is the mineral. The second one is the plant or vegetable. Third one is the animal, and the 4th kingdom is human. Now, the question is, each of those degrees, each of them, they possess a different action. So the mineral kingdom is possessed of a movement of electrons around atoms, cohesive. Cohesive is the force between my object. That's what is existing in mineral. Now for the vegetable, on top of what the mineral has, on top of this property, they have a growth. So they grow, our plants, they grow. For the animal kingdom, they have these 2. On top of these 2, they have sensibilities. John, would you like to read that, please?
The animal kingdom?
Yes.
The animal kingdom is possessed of the virtues of the mineral and vegetable plus the powers of the senses. But the animal, although gifted with sensibilities, is utterly bereft of consciousness, absolutely out of touch with the world of consciousness and spirit. The animal possesses no powers by which it can make discoveries which lie beyond the realm of the senses. It has no power of intellectual origination. The animal cannot abstractly conceive of intellect.
So, as you see, they have those 2 properties. They are sensible, but they are out of breath. So, they are not having the consciousness which we do have it. So, we have a small dog, it's very cute, and I'm sure if you have animals too, so you can see they are very smart, they are so cute, they are very smart. But can a dog in Europe, for example, is capable to discover a continent in the US? No, cannot do it. And therefore, they belong to the animal kingdom. Now, the human kingdom, the consciousness is particularly only to us, that we possess that. There is a reality of which the animal is lacking, and reality is the spirit of man. We have spirit, but the other three kingdoms, they don't have it. And that distinguishes us from the other three. Yes.
I was just going to ask, would you say self-awareness is the distinguishing factor between like consciousness, right? Because our consciousness allows us to see that we are self-aware, that we are a being, whereas maybe a dog or an animal might not necessarily have that sense of consciousness of self-awareness. But it's just a thought.
You want to say something, Terry?
Yes.
Yes.
The thing that is missing from your last statement, some animals can exhibit what appears to us to be love. And I think what you described is an evolutionary process. Now, animals are showing that love is something that they experience. Grief is something, we know that grief is something they experience. We see it in elephants, we see it in dogs. So grief is definitely something that has evolved within consciousness.
Yes,
and we are now in a position to say that love should be the predominant thing that we should attempt to expand to everything, to all forms of life. Love should be our operating principle.
That's true.
But
So
those are
they are
sensibilities, they're not
sensibilities.
consciousness.
Exactly. That sensibility, comments?
I think that's what you're saying is absolutely a part of that. The living objects, including the animals. But I think that what you probably might hear is that this kind of abstract thinking, that is something that probably is missing in the animal will. And this is what the human has, this abstract thought and thinking. That is probably what is distinguishing. And it's all depends on how we also, you mentioned, define the consciousness. If I say the consciousness is also the most part is an abstract thinking, I think that the consciousness here is the difference. But if you say love and grief and passion belong to conscious, those are something that both animals and human they have.
They do have it, yes, exactly. That's sensibilities. And back to Roxanne's question about the self-awareness, I have one slide too about the self-awareness too, that I come back to your question. Okay. Terry, you wanted to say something, William?
Yeah, I was just going to say often I think about it, if you can touch it, it's material. If you can't bring a bag of happiness, then that's really.
Oh, that's a good dimension. Yes. The same? Was not your hands
I
up?
was just pointing to Terry there.
Oh, okay, you pointed to her. Oh, okay. So now back to here. Any other question? No? Everything fine? Good. So now the question is, how can I develop my consciousness? I do have consciousness, but how I can develop that? So we have the self-awareness. So back to your question, that was my next slide. That, for example, we can try to be punctual, not procrastinating, be connected with the nature, or we can do meditation or setting goals in our life. Those are examples for our self-awareness. But at the same time, if we are thinking about self-awareness, it's not that we should be arrogant and thinking at ourselves only. At the same time, we should be seeing us as a part of the greater community. Why is it important to see us as a bigger community is because then that leads us to carry on for the other people too, not only for us, for the other one too. And in this context is the term service will find its meaning, that we do service. Baha'u'llah says, we would love to, Surah, could you please read that? the last one, true loss.
True loss is for him whose days have been spent in utter ignorance for himself.
So we have self-awareness, but at the same time, we are in a community too. Not only me, sondern we. Okay. So Baha'u'llah teachings describe, so Garon, can you read that?
Sure. The Baha'i teaching the Baha'i teachings describe the human being as intrinsically noble, with a soul that has the capacity to seek knowledge, understanding, and a mystical connection with its creator.
That's amazing. It says, from the inside, from the nature, organic, we are noble. Our human purpose is to develop spirituality by living life in service to others. So you can see self-awareness, community, and service to others. That all belong to each other. The service can be, we have it in our children classes that we go to the park, and I'm sure that Zion and Phoenix maybe did it too, that we go to the park and they clean up. That's one of the service. And in the context of the transformation of society, our purpose in life is to help carry forward an ever-advancing civilization. And that is that we put our energy, our ability to promote welfare of the human race. That is our goal of the life. We need to digest this sentence. I know. So we carry forward an ever-advancing civilization. So if I put now, we know religion, we know science, now I make it short summary that we can say religion or faith can inspire people to fulfill their purpose in life for a good cause. It can give people hope and belief for a better future, especially during hard times. How often in the hard time we pray more? I'm sure that you are familiar with that. Is it true? The core of the Baha'i faith lies in believing in three fundamental principles. We have, of course, more principles, but that's the core of the Baha'i faith. Oneness of God, oneness of religion, and oneness of humankind. So in this context, I'm not sure that you can read that, is harmony of science and religion. Here, equality of man and woman is there too. That as in this context, you can see the harmony of science and religion is one of the most important pillars of those three. And of course, we can talk about equality of man and woman. That's a big topic too. Maybe in other session. So now, I know what religion is, I know what science is, I know how they are together connected. Now the balance between the religion and the science create a global civilization which embodies both the spiritual and material dimension of existence. So, why is balance in life important? Why I need a balance? Okay, I am scientific, I am religious, but I need a balance in my life. If I go and every day I pray, or I go to work, and I don't have balance in my life, then I get mental sick, and emotionally we get sick. So in order to maintain our mental and emotional well-being, we need a balance between these two.
I'm just going to say, it's just like sitting and praying for hours for have a good exam.
Exactly. You should study too, right? Right, Sherry? Shannon? Good.
I used to do that, it didn't work.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. Rasin, are you studying or praying to get a good mark?
But, I also think that if you don't have that balance beyond yourself, because we just talked about the oneness of God, the oneness of community, and I think we've seen in the past few years with all that's gone on, that because there is no balance between spirituality and the material dimensions, and let's make that science, and science was pushed and religion was put to the back burner, there was definitely no balance. And I think we've seen the consequences of that and how it's torn communities and people apart because of that lack of balance. Because for science spearheaded forward and forgot the importance of balancing it with spirituality and actually people.
That's true. Nice business.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Now, I put here some practical aspect. So from my side, that contemplation. So thinking about your action every day. How I can have this balance in my life. Thinking what I did at that day. Every day. And you can pray and meditate. Praying and meditation, nowadays everybody knows what meditation is, even though if you are not belonging to a religion or to a faith, but you can meditate. So many people, they do yoga or they are reading other quotes and they are meditated. They are uplifted. And service. We can do service that we can understand the real meaning of our life. What's the meaning of our life is. So my last slide is about, if I now bring the science and religion together, then I can say science aims to seek the truth in material world, and religion teaches us to find the truth in immaterial world. And second, I can say they are as a partner together. They are not contradictory. They are not the opposite pillars that I said at the beginning, that we see it as two opposite pillars. They are not. They are together. And lastly, when we unify both together, we can use the expertise in science and the morality of the religion to promote the ultimate goal, which is the ever advancing civilization, and so we can have a very strong wings to fly together. So thank you.